Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be looking at how black and white landscape photography can not only save the day, but is a real skill that's fun to learn and is satisfying. We'll be running ultralight, photographing with the Fujifilm X-T5, while out on a day trip riding my BMW R1200 GSA motorcycle. Sounds like the perfect combination of things. First off, if you ride motorcycles, you'll know there's little better than road tripping and making photography while cruising on the motorcycle. It presents the world to you in such an immediate way, but it's also just a ton of fun. There isn't much better than being on two wheels riding around the countryside. So, listen, before I even start, I want to appeal to your better self and mention that if you find any of this useful, entertaining, or just fun, please hit that thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel. These things go without saying, but many people don't even think about it. I put a ton of work into the channel, and helping me out is so simple. And let me mention that if you enjoy my content, you can even buy me a coffee by hitting the thanks button down below on the right. It may be hidden in the three-dot menu, which is also down on the right, and that would go a long way to helping me keep this channel alive and the content flowing. Okay, thanks for listening to that. Let's go watch the location video, and when we get back, we'll talk briefly about the trip. Real fast before we do that, though, I also want to mention that we will have a useful discussion after the location video. I'll provide tips and thoughts on the overall subject, so don't leave after the location video. There's so much more to it than that. I noticed when looking at analytics, people are actually leaving right at the end of the location video, and they miss basically everything I put together to support the video. So stick around, there's more at the end. Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm out on the motorcycle, as you see here, running the ultralight kit you saw in the last video, and just wandering down the Pemaquid Peninsula, and I found this little park that I didn't even know existed here. Let's turn so we can see it. Right back there. And I'm hoping that there's something cool to see. I'm shooting black and white today, and I am really looking forward to getting some shooting done. This is the first time I've been out in a while because I've been so busy. But as you see here, I've got the just a shoulder bag, ultralight tripod, the Fuji setup, and this camera. So we'll see what we can capture today. I'm not even trying to get cinematic with this camera. I'm not using any filters. I've just got it on full auto, which means when I do this, everything looks weird, right? My finger, everything looks sort of flashy in the movement. We'll talk about that when I review this camera. But let's go see if we can find some amazing photography to take. We're not taking pictures of photography, are we? Let's go see if we can find some amazing shots we can make. All right, so I was walking around down here, and it's a really beautiful sort of waterfront place. This is the Medommic River. I guess I'm in the town of Bremen, however they say it here. And I found this interesting composition hanging from the trees here. Somebody set these up like a little sculpture. Notice there's some canoes down here that are here for people to use, and it's just kind of a it's kind of a cool place. Well, this quarry I found is absolutely fantastic. I think I managed to get a couple of really nice shots. The sunlight is casting these beautiful shadows up onto the quarry walls, and then with this reflection at the bottom, pretty fantastic. We'll see if any of them come out. I'm seeing something a little more abstract, I think, than what I'm imagining in my mind. So I'm going to have to really work to develop these right, because frequently you'll see things that are really complex. Like here, let's look at this. I'm looking down at these bushes here growing right here in the edge of the water. And what I shot, here, I'll back up so you can see one of the shots I made, had this tree and this tree in it. And the quarry walls back here, and then these trees at the top. So, and these bushes at the bottom. So in the end, it may just have been a little more complex than will hold together. I always want to say on film, but it'll hold together in the image. So we'll see. It's a beautiful location here, though. I mean, I didn't even know this little quarry was here, so it's a pretty cool thing to find. Made it down to Pemaquid Point. Gonna wander around here and see what there is to see. And yeah, man, I love it here. You'll recall the last time I was here, it was a massive storm and it was cold. And now I'm in short sleeves and it is really, really nice. So I can't complain about that. There I am at the old oil house. They've started doing construction on the bell house. We'll go over there in a minute. They're coming right along here. Pretty excited. Gonna get this place all fixed back up after those storms. Some of the boulders that moved, by the way, weighed somewhere like 4,000 tons. It's a little precarious here. Well, man, it's a little bit precarious. You don't know what is still in one piece and what isn't. Some of this stuff is really, I mean, these boulders were literally broken off from where they've been for millions of years, and that's pretty crazy. I can't imagine that kind of force. But yeah, we're about to go see the one, and all of these just broke right off from where they were. And we're about to go see the big one, the Mamma Jamma, the monster that was knocked right down by the waves. God, that's just, like I said, that really just goes to show how powerful the ocean is. Look at the size of this thing. I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe I'll go over so you can see how big it is. I'll go over so you can see how big it is. Let's see, is that the entire thing in the shot? Man, that is just nuts. All right, man, this is bonkers. This huge piece of rock was just ripped right off of here. It was behind me about 30, 40 feet. It was part of the ridge that went down the water here. I'll show you that here in a second. So. So if I'm not mistaken, it was broken loose right here where I'm standing. And it was sitting right here. Right here, it was connected. And then over there is where that beast ended up. Crazy. I've tried to shoot this little segment now a bunch of times. So these boulders down here are the boulders that were literally ripped off of this ridge. Each one of these weighs like, I want to say it's like 4,000 tons, I think is what the article told me. So they were ripped off. I'm actually standing on one of the ones that was ripped off as well. You can see that here under me. So I'm trying to do a composition where I sort of do a zigzag line that draws your eye up the hill. So we're going to start here, head up to here, and then go back across the boulder, and then back, zigzag up to the lighthouse. In the process, on the right-hand side, we'll also have a line that runs your eye up to the lighthouse. So no matter what, your eye always runs up to the lighthouse, and it should ride back down on these little finned rocks all over the place. And they're going to actually make for a really sort of interesting texture that your eye will, we hope, want to look at. And shooting it in black and white is what's making it really, really interesting. So let me go ahead and get this shot. I actually like the light better now than I did when I first started. So I'm going to go ahead and get this shot, and here it is. All right, so I just set up in the opposite direction. If you look here, the sun is right in my eyes. I was just shooting right back there. I literally just turned around, and now I'm shooting this back here with these fins going down into the water, and then I'm trying to catch some foam as well in the process so that it's a little bit dynamic. I'm using diagonals and sort of two major anchor points with diagonals pointing towards them. I don't know if it's going to work all that well. We'll see. But if the shot came out, here's the shot. I shot this piece by hand. So what I did was I had this rock, and this series of boulders up here make a big triangle that points towards the lighthouse. And then all the other lines around, you can see all these finned rocks going up. They're all pointing towards the lighthouse. Basically like what you're seeing, just a little bit wider. I really like this shot actually, and hopefully it comes out really, really well. Yeah, I'm gonna go hop on the motorcycle and get home. It's always great coming to Pemaquid. Hey, listen, if any of this was useful to you, please hit the thumbs up and please subscribe. And look, if you feel like buying me a coffee, you can click the thank you button below. The thank you button could be in the 3-dot menu, but I'm gonna go hop on the bike and get home. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. So getting out on the motorcycle is always so much fun. I know people think it's dangerous, and they're not wrong, but if you don't mind the risks, it's just such a great way to see the countryside and to travel. This trip was no exception. I had a blast that day. It was sunny, and there were some nice clouds, so I knew that shooting under color would be pretty good. But I wanted to stretch my photo muscle even further and concentrate on finding compositions that would be ideal for black and white. My background being in traditional photography, I used to shoot almost primarily black and white unless the job called for color. So I love shooting black and white. Black and white has a character and a nature that just feels almost more real when it comes to what you saw in your brain. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You can't just take any scene and make it black and white and then expect it to be a fine art masterpiece. That's not how black and white works. And I think that's also why black and white has garnered a reputation as a way to just fix a scene that didn't look good in color. But nothing could be further from the truth. You have to shoot black and white intentionally, or you'll never really make good black and white work consistently. Infinite monkey theory. You just keep shooting, you'll make great work. But if you practice, you will learn to nail down how black and white photography works, what needs to be in the scene to make it a great scene, and how to work with all the different elements. So, when you're learning to shoot black and white, you have to take into account so many more things that, yes, can help contribute to a color photograph being good, but can also be the thing that ruins a color photograph, believe it or not. Why? Because color isn't necessarily about form and pattern and repetition and tones. Those things can help, but color is in fact, a lot of color is in fact primarily about the color. If the color is pleasing and in an overall interesting pattern or configuration, and that does touch some on what you're also looking for black and white, that can literally make an image. Black and white isn't so easy. When crafting a really good black and white photograph, the primary elements are form, pattern, repetition, tonality, gradation, and overall configuration, or composition if you want to massively simplify it. The subject itself, no matter how compelling, won't be that interesting unless you pay attention to the aforementioned elements. That's what makes black and white photography so hard to excel at. I always love reading in the online groups when someone posts a photo in color and in black and white, and then asks everyone which is better. Usually the photograph is mediocre at best, and though the subject, usually a portrait or an abandoned building or something like that, wasn't composed well with attention to all of the elements I mentioned, what you see is this person just thinking that converting it to black and white will make it artsy. So they think it'll save the image. That's a big old nope. That is not how black and white works. Taking a color image that isn't working and making it black and white does nothing but take an image that isn't working and make it more of an image that isn't working. You might get the occasional image that works in black and white that you didn't intend for it to, but that's because you either saw and put some of the elements in that make a great black and white image, or it just was an accident and you made an image that would be good in black and white. Yes, you can be helped a lot on a bright, sunny, contrasty day by shooting in black and white, but the black and white isn't what's actually helping. The light on a contrasty day can more easily be organized in your vision to be more effectively captured in black and white. In other words, it just becomes easier for you to see what's making it appropriate for the black and white medium. So, all of this said, doing some research on composition and pattern, form, line, shape, what have you, will go really, really far to you improving your black and white skills. Start trying to think in black and white when you're out shooting. Using black and white in your viewfinder may help a little, but I think you might miss the point doing that. You aren't looking for the appropriate things when you approach it that way. You're just seeing what looks right in the viewfinder. In other words, instead of crafting an image, you're just trying things out to see if it'll work. And that takes no critical thinking at all. And making true black and white photography is all about critical thinking and assembly, if you will. I really hope some of this helped in your quest to create black and white masterworks. No one becomes a master fine art black and white photographer overnight. It's all about practice. In fact, photography is just all about practice. It's hard work, but it's also work that we love. So having just a few more tools in our creative toolboxes is key. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend and a great week. Bye for now.